Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving in different parts of the world. Like for number one, I didn't know that in Japan they actually celebrated Thanksgiving, but that's okay. Either way it goes, wherever you are, happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays to you. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Today, we're going to be talking about how do you actually trade the markets during holidays. That's one of the biggest questions that come around this time of the season. So let's go ahead and address it. So excuse me. So one of the things you have to consider when you're trading in the markets, and I'm going to start by giving you a particular way of thinking, and then we're going to come back to answering the question. Okay, so make sure you understand the concept, and then we'll come back, and again we'll address it. Now I'm sorry about my neighbors here; they come flying by. See the little ducks flying by. All right, so here's the deal. Think of it at if you're working at a job. Okay, if you're working at a job, typically during the holiday seasons, people get real relaxed. They're doing their job, but not at full strength. They're not pushing as hard unless you're in sales. You know, if you're in sales, yeah, you're pushing hard because it's, the holidays, and a lot of companies make their biggest profit margins. Listen up, those who trade in the stock market. Those companies make their biggest profit margins at this time, okay, because of the sales. So a lot of companies are surviving year to year, okay, not quarter to quarter, but year to year based off of the holiday sales. But that's not the point of this video. The point is, I'm going to teach you how to think, because a lot of people say, I want to trade like the big institutions and the banks. So you have to step out of how you're asking the question, and let's take it directly to the people we're talking about. Because you can't trade like the big banks and institutions if you don't understand their concepts. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay. So here's how we have to think of it. When you're at your job, at the company you work at, okay, one of the things that you have to understand is that during your holidays, regardless of where you are in the world, during your holidays, do you work at maximum potential, or do you kind of scale back and start relaxing? Does the company start getting real relaxed and getting in that holiday groove? The concept is, excuse me, the concept is this, is that the bottom line, you are not working at your full capacity at this time. Why? Because it's the holidays and everybody's scaling back and relaxing. The same thing is going on with these institutions and banks. They don't trade every single day. They start scaling back days in many situations, days before the holiday gets here. So that's the reason why. And I'm gonna give you an example. And I'm glad we're doing this video today, because now you can go back. Because again, when I'm putting out this content, is just to help you, okay? But you can go back on your own charts and see it for yourself and watch what happened with the charts last week. Was there money to be made? Absolutely. Did a lot of us make money last week? Yes, we did. But we had to think a little differently. The normal 400 and 500 pips and the this and that moves, you could scalp it, or you can trade in and out of different pairs to collect that amount, but you certainly weren't going to get it out of one pair. Why? Because the look, watch this, write this word down. And some of you guys know it. You heard it before. That's okay. But some of you guys, this is a little bit new. The liquidity, okay? Liquidity. Write that down. The liquidity. That term liquidity in the financial markets means money being moved. So just imagine right here on this lake, if millions of dollars are just thrown into this lake and you started seeing it flow with the current, that's liquidity. There is no current right now, and there's not a lot of big institutions throwing their money onto the water so that the money can flow in its natural form. That is how you have trends. Do you understand what I'm saying? Type in number one if you understand what I'm saying. I want to make sure I'm not losing you guys on this. Okay? I want to make sure I'm not losing you guys. Okay? So, when you have what's called liquidity, now retail traders can throw their $5 into the water, they can throw their $2 into the water. That's not going to really move and cover this whole lake with dollar bills. But imagine that you have big institutions that are putting millions of dollars on top of this water, and the water is currently, the flow of the water is flowing in this direction. I'm looking at the water flow. The water is currently flowing in this direction. That is when the trends are really happening, because you got big institutions saying this is the direction we want to put our money in, and big massive amounts of money start coming in and flowing in this particular direction. That is called liquidity. It's liquid, movable. There's a lot of movement, like liquid. It pours, okay? Liquidity. During the holidays, it's not a lot of that, okay? During your job, you're not even putting in a lot of liquidity as far as energy, because you're tying down, you're thinking about the holidays, what I'm going to feed people. And so how does that show up on the charts? It shows up in a way that you understood, and I'm glad we're doing it today. Go back on your charts and you'll see that a lot of pairs that normally have big, consistent moves, you'll notice that they moved. Again, you can make some pips, but you notice that they was stagger step moves. It wasn't a whole lot of it. Do you get what I'm saying? Up until Thanksgiving and the day after, which is Black Friday, which is just in here in the US, Black Friday is just a separate holiday. You know, you have your Thanksgiving meal on Thanksgiving, and then you go to sleep full because you got the turkey blues, and then you wake up the next morning early in the morning and go do your Christmas shopping, depending on what stores is open because of COVID, but you get the point. All right. Now, the next week that pops out though, which is today and starting into next week. Just like your company, they say, okay, hey, Thanksgiving is over. We got a couple of weeks before what? Christmas begins. And if that's the case, now you may start seeing more what? Liquidity, more money coming on and being splashed on the lake to cover the lake with money so that we can get this trend moving again. Do you get what I'm saying? So this week, you may start to see a little pickup of momentum. Do you get what I'm saying? And if that's the case, what I'm trying to teach you guys is one basic idea. My boat is floating. See, you see the current? See the current is even moving my little boat, my little paddle boat. What I'm trying to teach you is this: learn when to trade and learn when to take a freaking break. Some of you guys are trying to trade all the time. You think the market is always trying to be doing something, and you're even taking it personal. I did a video a couple of weeks ago about this. You're taking it personal as opposed to understanding what kind of business you're in. You're in the currency market, and if big institutions, the one that can move this boat, just like you see in the current, you see it here, my little boat, you see my little paddle boat, the current moved the boat. But what if there's no wind that's impacting the water to create the current? If there's no wind and there's no current, then the boat will sit still. It won't even budge. And that's how the markets are during the holidays. So if that's the case, the best thing you can do is just take a simple break and monitor the market so that you're learning. Too many people are coming into this business, Forex, and they're not willing to learn anything. That's the problem. You're not willing to be a student of the game. You want to be a full-time trader with a non-education. That's like walking up to Microsoft and saying, hey, I want to be the CEO of Microsoft, but you have no idea how software work. Well, you know, I'm computer challenged. Then why the heck are you applying to work at Microsoft? Do you get what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this content, to teach you guys so that you'll understand what business you're actually in. So don't try to force the market to give you money in big splashes when there's no what? Liquidity. There's no movement. Because who's moving the market? You and I. Oh no, you're talking about trillions of dollars being traded today. I think the market's up to $6 trillion a day, $5 or $6 trillion a day. So going back to my water example, you throw in $100. I may throw in a couple of grand and so forth and so forth. But that is not enough to cover this whole lake with dollar bills. To cover this lake, just imagine the Forex is like this lake. It requires trillions of dollars to cover it, to make sure it's blanketed with dollar bills. And then when it's blanketed and you can see those dollars flowing in a certain direction. Again, that's how trends are created. But if you're just putting in $100, he putting in $50, that person putting in $5, I'm putting in only a few grand. Okay, that ain't enough to cover this lake to create an actual what? Trend. And that is why you have choppy markets during holidays. Type a number 3 in the box so I can make sure that I'm teaching you guys what you need to know. I'm really trying to help you. Again, whether you like me or dislike me, that's okay. God bless you anyway. But I'm teaching you so you can have a understanding. Like the Bible says, with all you're getting, get an understanding. And too many people in this business have no understanding of what they're doing, but they want to be full-time at it. You can't be full-time at anything you don't understand. So I'm sorry to break it to you and hurt your feelings, but somebody need to just put a halt to what you're doing, because you're constantly just throwing money in week after week after week, refilling your account, buying new indicators, this and that and this, thinking that's going to fix the problem. And that is never going to fix the problem. That's not going to fix your problem. I'm sorry. I got to be the one to tell you. Because I tell my students all the time, the Forex market is one of the most immature businesses I have ever seen in my life. How could you be this large of a business and have so much immaturity? Some of this basic knowledge, it's not even discussion points in the stock market and the options market, which I've traded for years. It's not even a discussion point. It's common knowledge. But in Forex, people come thinking they're going to make $1 million in 2 days, and nobody's teaching them properly. So they have these misconceptions of, oh, I'm going to buy me a nice car and I'm going to live in the house like Uncle P and I'm going to be da, da, da. And you don't have a freaking clue what you're doing because nobody's teaching you. Everybody wants your money, but nobody wants to give you the education. And I'll say amen to myself, because I've been through it, and I'm not trying to be funny, but I already been through it. That's why I give this free content, to try to help you guys with your journey, because I've been through what you're going through. But I had to stop going through it at some point and say, you know what, this ain't working. And so when I sat myself down and I started watching the markets, like I told my students in class last week, oh my God, I love classes. So last week was in class, and I told them that by the blessing of God, he helped me to understand, stop looking at the markets just from trend lines, indicators, Donchion channels, Elliott wave theory, quarter wave theory, and all these other theories out there. I'm not saying they don't work. Yes, they do. But you have to attach them to the concept of who's actually moving the market. When you figure out what's blanking in the market, then you can come back and apply these other things, and then you start seeing the magic really start happening. But until you get the bigger picture of what's really going on behind the scenes, you still can do all of that and come up short. You're going to come up short because you're not understanding how the liquidity, what's moving the markets. So going back to this holiday thing, now that you know that possibly the markets typically at least a week before the markets, a big holiday like Christmas is the next one coming up. Okay, a couple of days before then, what you might want to do is to actually just chillax before the holiday. Take a few days off. Relax. What do you think the big institutions are doing? That's why I'm going back and driving this point to you so that you'll get the idea. What does your job do? Don't they give you a little, normally they'll call you lazy and fire you if you did a holiday performance, because they like, hey, hustle, hustle, hustle all year long. Hustle, 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 hustle. But then when the holidays come around, everybody's a little more joyful and relaxed and a good warm feeling and pretty lazy, which we would call lazy at your job. But nobody said you're lazy. Why? Because we're in the holiday, quote unquote, what? Holiday spirit. And when you're in the holiday spirit, nobody works a lot. The banks are exactly the same. They're not putting in a whole lot of cash and sitting there monitoring the markets and everything else during the holidays. They're in the holiday festive spirit. And if you're in the holiday festive spirit, you're not floating trillions and millions of dollars into the market. But when that holiday passes, they go back to normal. Why? Because they still love that money. Don't you ever forget that. This Forex market it has no mercy. They want that money. They want that money. So they'll come back probably this week. Now, I will caution you. I was looking at news for this week. I told you guys I have my little whiteboard. That's one of the things I do. I look at the news events and write down which ones are important. This week, the U.S. dollar, may have some slowness or some strange movements. I don't know for sure. Again, I'm not Nostradamus. I'm just telling you behaviorally what I've seen in the past. Okay. So here's what I've noticed is coming up this week. And you can always tell when NFP is coming up, because a few days before NFP, they always make an announcement with ADP. ADP is one of those companies that actually manages people's books for employees, employment, okay? ADP. So ADP comes out with their report. As soon as I seen ADP come out, which I think is going to be on Wednesday or something like that, I already knew a few days later, that's a precursor to NFP, non-farm payroll, okay? If you're brand new to Forex, don't worry about any of this. It just means that be cautious, okay? Because news events are coming out. In addition to that, though, which I think on when he starts testifying, the markets are going to be listening to this guy. Our Uncle Jerome, that's what we call it, Uncle Jerome, Jerome Powell, okay? Jerome Powell, who's the Fed chairman, is testifying on Wednesday or Thursday. I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry, it's upstairs and on my phone. But either way it goes, he's going to be testifying. I don't know what he's going to say about the economy or what he's going to be talking about, and neither does the market. So typically, the big institutions are listening to see what the man has to say. Are you hearing what I'm saying? And if they're listening, what are they not doing that most retail traders are doing? What do you think that they're doing? If the big institutions are listening, what do you think typically the retail trader is doing? I'm waiting for comments. What do you think they're doing? See, I'm trying to shift your thinking to think like the people you say you want to be like. Oh, I'm going to trade like the banks. You can't if you don't have a clue what they're doing. So again, they're not, there you go. 03 Glasgow, you got it. They're not trading because they're what? Waiting. Either you're trading or you're waiting. And too many people in this Forex business, they have no patience, so they're never waiting. They're always trading. Do you see why you're failing and the banks are making money? Because they know when to wait and they know when to go in. You going in on everything you love with all you got in your account, and you have no clue what's going on. None. And this is why I'm here. I'm just simply trying to help you think differently. Think as an investor. Stop calling, oh, I'm going to be a full-time Forex trader. No, be a full-time investor. And when you invest, first of all, the first word that comes out is investment. Well, what did the first investment start with? You. You need to invest into your own mind so you can figure out what's going on. Do you hear what I'm saying? Too many people come into this thing and they trying to find the best free indicators. Who stole some indicators that I can take from them and you thieving your way through things and talking about you're going to be a professional trader. You're never going to be. And you can steal all the indicators you want. Which, by the way, let me warn some of you guys. You getting some of these stolen indicators. That's what they are. They're stolen. But what you don't know is they're glad for you to download them because they attach a virus and they can attack your computer and have access to it. And here you go talking about, I'm going to be a full-time trader with your stealing self. Trying to see what you can get for free because you're not willing to invest into education. Show me how you're using your stuff. No, you show me how you're using yours first. And I tell you right off the top, based off of 2 minutes of conversation with you, I can already tell that you're not going to make it in the business. Well, how you know? I didn't mark up my charts. That's exactly your problem. You're always marking up your charts. You're always trying to find the best new indicator, the holy grail. And not once did you stop to take a look and say, what is really going on the bigger scale in this market? You never stopped to do that. You didn't. And unless you're willing to put the two together, I'm sorry to tell you, you got a part of the story, but you don't have the full story. Let me leave you guys with this, and I'll check out because I got to go take my. I'm going to go enjoy the day with my wife. I went to school for news and broadcasting. A lot of people don't even know that. I've done a lot of things in my life. I've owned daycares, restaurants, real estate, and many other things. I've written books. I've been on television. I've been on radio multiple times as a guest. And then I had my own radio show. I've done many things with my life. I believe try to do the best you can to enjoy your life and live it to the fullest. Use the gifts God has given you. But one thing I had learned when I went to news and broadcasting school, because at one point I said, hey, I want to be on TV to do news. I found out I don't want to do it because I don't pay no money. So as soon as they said that, I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I like what I'm doing as an investor. But here's the idea. The concept was this, and I'll never forgot it. Even if I don't do things, I always walk away with a good lesson. And here's what the biggest lesson, the aha that I learned. And I talk about a friend, of mine who I've never met, but we talked because he's in our group. And he actually works for ESPN, but he trades with me. I taught him how to trade. And so when he comes to class, I like talking with him because he understands exactly what I'm about to tell you, because he works for ESPN for the sports. Okay. So what I'm telling you is this. What they taught us is this. Don't you ever, hear me good, don't you ever jump on the camera if you don't know the full story first. Did you hear what I said? Now, of course, if you're into announcing news, for weather and things like that, and you don't know tropical storms, even then they have a concept or an idea about what to report to you. It ain't just haphazard, just, oh, well, I'm just going to jump in front of the camera and do my thing. Like some of y'all trade. You jump in front of your computer and you just get to hacking away and you see the results. So you can debate with me all you want. What results are you getting? What results are you getting? So come along with me and understand this point. They said, and they taught us that we must investigate all the information we possibly can on the story before getting on camera. Because when the camera comes on, you should be fully prepared to report to the people listening to you so that you can give them good content and information. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when I'm coming along and I came into the Forex industry and I'm like, what is going on in this business? Y'all, this is trillions of dollars. But the average retail trader is sitting up here trading like they done lost their freaking mind. What is going on? And so when I step into the game and I say, okay, guys, did y'all look at this? Did you look at this? Did you look? Oh, man, here come the dude. You don't know what you talking about. You a scammer, bro. You sitting up there but talking about, man, this price action is king. Price action is king. You don't need all that fundamental stuff. You don't need to know. And everybody's losing their money. What industry do you think exists where 80 to 90% of the people involved, which are millions of people, are losing their money and they keep coming back happily to give the market more money? And when a person is trying to teach them something for free, because these videos ain't nobody paying me, I just like doing it, and they attack you. What other business in the world does that? And then you get mad week after week, wondering why I'm not winning. Could it be possible because, like Uncle P just taught you today, now you understand how to trade during holidays? Why? You want to trade when there's what? What's the word? Liquidity. And thank you, Elliot, my man. Elliot, right on, bro. Elliot, Fed Chairman Powell is speaking on Tuesday. Yes. And again, he's going to do a whole lot of talking, but typically in the first hour or so of his speaking, you'll see if he says anything important, then you'll see the markets move. After that, it's just okay? But anyway, let me wrap this up so I can take my wife on this date. I'm going to put the top down and we finna enjoy our day. I'm going to take her on a nice ride and enjoy the sunshine. But here's the point. The point is, get the understanding of the story before you start putting more of your money in. Do me a favor. Now, again, I do believe the markets are going to pick up a bit because Christmas is a couple of weeks out. So there's plenty of money for the institutions to make during that window of time. So people are always asking, is this a time where the whole market shuts down? No, it typically shuts down a few days to a week ahead of a big event. Okay? Ahead of a big event, which is the next one is Christmas. The next one after that is going to be New Year's. So during Christmas time, up until the week before Christmas, I would actually just, sit back and relax and just monitor the markets. And because the week after that, people are still going to be in the celebratory mode from Christmas to what? New Year's. Then after that, January hits and it all starts all over again. This has been going on for the longest, and not just in Forex, but in the stock market and options market too. It's the same thing because you got the same big institutions involved. So they know what's going on. It's you who's lacking information. It's you who don't understand what the big game players are doing. And because you don't understand, that's why you're losing your shirt, partner. Okay? So I'll leave you with this. Out of love, I'm begging you, just learn the market first. Learn how it moves. Don't go by what everybody is. Too many people is just teaching, just this. You only need this. No, you need to understand. Like in my class, I'm always teaching them, hey, pay attention to sessions. Okay, and some of you guys are missing this. That's why you're losing too. You don't even understand the sessions. You're trying to trade everything you see. And you're doing it at the wrong time, just like holidays. You're trading when it's just not the right time. And then you're taking it personal like, man, I'm failing. The only thing you're failing at is to understand timing. Your timing is off. You're jumping in where they're jumping out. And when they're jumping out, you jumping in. And when they say, okay, it's a go, you saying, oh, no, I don't know about this one. And that be the big move. How many times have that happened to you? Where big moves happen, but you missed it. But then when there was no movement, you was in it. See, your timing is off. Yep, Kevin, I was thinking that, and I was going to say that, Kev. I was doggone, bro. You on point, dog. I was going to say that. Your time, I was going to use the timing belt idea. I do use that in class. When the car's timing belt is off, I don't care how sexy your car is. It ain't going nowhere. Why? Because the timing belt is off. It runs the timing to make sure everything is in sync. And what I'm trying to tell you is during these holidays, you're off sync. You're not in sync with what's going on with the bigger picture. You're trying to jump in and make big moves. Now, again, can you make money? Yeah, of course you can make money. I made some money last week myself. So I ain't telling you not to trade, but I'm saying what I did was, okay, let me leave you with this, and I really got to go. If I know that the U.S. is having a big holiday, why would I trade heavy on the U.S. dollar and try to be a swing trader on the dollar? That don't make no sense. Why? Because it's impacting that country's economy. The U.S. dollar having a U.S. holiday. Oh, so what did I do? I went to another country's economy and I started trading theirs because they ain't had no holidays in their countries. So I picked two currencies, because when you trade a currency pair, you're trading a currency pair. So I chose two countries' economies who didn't have a holiday. I even sent out a text to the group last Sunday, and I said, hey, guys, I didn't even know that in Japan they celebrated Thanksgiving. But when I checked the news, I seen, okay, the JPY, they're celebrating Thanksgiving. I told them the JPY probably ain't going to move a whole lot. And check on Sunday on your own charts last week. You'll see it was sat stagnant. And then the trade that we were in the signals group, boop, as soon as the market opened up, it went into profit. But we understood that it wasn't going to go right away because last Sunday, it was what? Thanksgiving for them. See, understanding things. So with the US dollar, okay, holiday, I wasn't looking to trade that. So I went to a different currency pair, did all right, got in, got out, and called it a day. Just that simple, family. This is where you pay for education. You need somebody to teach you because you're trying hard, and I get it. You're putting in your best effort, but sometimes you got to admit when you're putting in your best effort and there's no fruit coming from it, then you just need help. If you don't believe me, I paid for the Tyson fight last night. Unfortunately, I don't have a clue. And Mr. Robinson, no disrespect to you because you have an NBA career that's this and that. You did a lot of things. But brother, who was your coach? You got knocked out. You got knocked out not once, not twice. You got knocked out 3 freaking times. And when you was in that ring, you looked like you was an MMA fighter versus a boxer. And I'm like, what is this dude? Who is your coach? Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's what some of you guys are looking like before you laugh at him, because now some of y'all going to run to YouTube and see, what is he talking about? You going to see it, but don't laugh too hard at him, because the same thing that happened to him in that ring last night is what's happening to you in your financial trading. You getting lumped up. And that's because you have bad coaching. So if you want a good coach, I'm here. I love teaching my classes week in and week out. That is my juice. I love teaching classes. Yeah, Kev, see, I told y'all, watch that fight. What kind of boxing? Who taught you boxing, bro? What is you doing? And that is Forex. Welcome to the club. That's the majority of traders in Forex. They're getting lumped up because they just looking sloppy. You don't know. You need coaching. So if you want coaching, come on and join. If you just want like these free videos, okay, just check in every Sunday or every other Sunday when I'm doing my videos. It's cool. Whatever, it's fine. But if you really want to learn the in-depth understanding of the markets, market timing, and these different things, then come on and join us. I only charge one-time fee. I don't try to price gouge you and all that kind of stuff. Okay. All right, you guys. And yeah, thank you, Derek. See, Derek, he's in my class, by the way. Yeah, we just have fun. That's my juice. I love to teach it. Okay, I love to teach it. I don't charge money for my classes. I do that. I've been doing my classes for a good long while now. So I got credibility behind me because I've been doing it for a long time. And can't nobody say I charged you an extra dollar for the classes. I show up all the time. I rarely ever take off unless I'm going on a trip with my wife, or it better be something important, because I feel like teaching is most important, because that's the missing piece in Forex that every other industry does have. You get into real estate, trust me, you're going to get an education. You get in the stock market, you get an education. You come into Forex, they say you indicators, but no education. That's why people are failing, because of the lack of knowledge. And I want to help you, but again, it's a one-time fee. You pay it one time. Go ahead and come on in. If not, no problem. I'll keep trying to do some free content, but don't expect me to give you all the details. It's just helping you out. Okay? All right, I'm out of here. I got to go on my date. Love y'all. Have a good day.